Hello. Hello.
Hello.
They might see us. Oh, they gotta see us by now. What's going on? Huh? Thurman and Lala podcast.
Looking for it. Here it is.
Or in Thermopolis, both of us.
I know.
In the same room.
It's strange.
I kind of liked virtual life.
Yeah, virtual life's fun.
Nothing
not being
was-
around you.
Yeah, but nothing was real. It didn't really matter.
I felt like more because the terrible things that I would say you would be far away land in like a digital world that didn't
Yeah.
exist. So I would say horrible, you know what I mean? And I didn't. Now when I say it to your face,
You were just alone in a room.
yeah, now I have reactions.
We could have just uploaded an algorithm and like deep faked it. It could have been anything. I could have a cat sitting there and just deep fake it as Steve.
That would probably be more interesting. Okay, so I got the fucking vaccine yesterday. Part 1.
Did you have to? For work or something?
No, work doesn't care at all. They're the, oh my God. They don't
You
fucking care at
did
all.
it because-
the whole group are the ones that like don't believe in
So you had to do it like in order to get your birth control re-upped or something?
Yes, absolutely. I had to, it was a backdoor deal for sure.
That one's for all the Loomis guys. Like, yeah.
But like my fucking, so I didn't feel a thing, at first, and then like a few hours later, it started to feel like, hey, I got a flu shot or something. Like it started to ache a little bit, and then we were watching TV and shit.
Somebody's only light. I don't know why. I just picture you in a dugout. You in a dugout getting it for the first time, and then telling Phoebe Cates that it hurt.
That's where I was.
I don't know why.
In the dugout at fucking Kiwanis Park. Just some guy in a fucking duster. Okay, so I got it at a mental hospital. That was like one of the locations. So the Buffalo has this beautiful fucking campus, which is wasted on all these fucking crazy people. You'd think, a nice setting would be, comforting and everything, but give us something. That their place is way better than Delaware Park. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you? That's pretty cool. Well, I guess maybe because like they need to be kept a little more peaceful. Yeah. They need to be kept a little more like.
Well, it wasn't peaceful when I was there.
People
were screaming at things. There was like, when Mac from It's Always Sunny like dresses up in the duster, and he kind of had this dude was getting the vaccine, but he was like a former patient. I don't know how they let him out, but he was screaming, and they were like, just when they gave him what he wanted, and then he settled down. But he had a duster on, and then he had to slick back hair, and he almost had like the Nightman fucking makeup.
It sounds like Goth Alley again.
Yes.
You sure you weren't in Goth Alley? That wasn't the vaccine, dude.
Well, I just started shooting up, yeah. Goth Alley. This fucking, I'm so sick of this world. I always said, if I was terminally ill, I would do heroin.
That's better.
Now I'm just kind of speeding up the process.
Vaccine fixes everything.
to make myself terminally ill.
It sounds like Goth Alley all over again.
It was a strange experience. And then, so then last night my arm started to really fucking hurt, and then I woke up this morning and it was fucking like killing me.
So it's like a big needle, like that, for example. It's like a big ass needle they put in there.
So I talked to the nurses. I think, hey man, this is kind of like a big moment because this is like the fucking plague of our time here, and I'm getting a vaccine, right? So I'm like, hey, it's been a long time coming. Like I can't believe today's here, and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like, what? And they're like, what I mean?
Yeah, because you got it built up into this storybook like you're getting the polio vaccine.
Yeah.
You're going to tell your grandkids, they're like, dude, this is just Brita water.
Yeah, they're like, this
is all bullshit.
Yeah. Placebo.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever it is, it's a sugar water or if it's a fucking vaccine, it fucking hurts more, like so unnecessarily. It's like incapacitating how much it fucking hurts right now.
Yeah, and those weird pains that like you don't have, like our couch, you can't fuck up with our couch. You sleep on it the wrong way.
Yeah.
There's like a metal, or no, like a wood, like part of the frame that'll just dig into like the perfect nerve of your spine that'll send pain up and down, like from north to south. It's fucking right in the middle. So I know what you mean. It's that deep pain that you can't, like, you can't pinpoint it.
No,
it's just there.
It's everywhere and it's nowhere, and it's like, you know what I mean. It just drives me fucking.
It's like
so
a
I put like a
phantom
shit
pain.
ton of fucking CBD oil on it before I came here, and that seems to kind of fucking help. Man, I use that CBD oil on fucking everything.
Of course,
man.
it's great. Don't be careful with it around your nuts.
Why?
Because it's like, oh, did you not have like the icy cold one?
No,
there's like the icy
not the,
ones.
no. That I've accidentally.
No.
I remember I used icy hot one day when I like got home from work and I was super sore.
Get
and then
close
like
to
any
your
guy,
pull
like
to
3
the
seconds
side.
later.
To pull it in the side.
3 seconds later, I touched my balls because I'm a guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
exactly.
And then it was the worst pain. I had to like wash my balls off, and then like I remember like I had to like put a fan directly because there was no relief. Like what? It's just some burning chemical that I put on all over my nutsack accidentally. It was, you know what I mean? It doesn't even. I don't care. Icy hot does not feel good.
I've never really tried actual icy hot, but the CBD stuff with that's like a cold, like a cooling sensation or whatever.
Cooling's
I
one
have
thing,
tried.
but
The first time I tried it, we flew back from somewhere, and it was like a shitty day of being on a plane all day. And I was like, I can't. And then the package was there, like waiting for me at the door. Like the first time I ever got it.
okay.
Yeah, like the mail had gotten there that day, and we flew home. And you know, after you fly, you're like, oh, I just fucking, my whole body feels like shit. I was like, I'm going to take a hot shower and then just lather up in this. And I didn't realize it was what it was, and I just went nuts. And then, like, I was like, it was like burning. Like, my whole skin was burning. Like, I was on fire, but I was freezing. It was so fucking weird. I had to take another shower, like, immediately.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And wash probably, like, $48 worth of the shit off of me.
If you take any advice from me, anybody out there listening, it's do not fucking mix icy hot with your deodorant. Because I remember I think I worked out and like I had like pain right here. Yeah. So I put the icy hot there, and whatever chemical mixture it had with that and my fucking deodorant, I had like actual burns from it.
Well, deodorant's a weird thing. Deodorant's like is like a heavy duty thing. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Think of a man's.
Now people are guilting me about my fucking deodorant that I use too. Like, it's aluminum. Use fucking Charlie's Charcoal Factory.
Who talks to you about your deodorant?
Instagram. Just an AI. It just, I'm scrolling, and then all of a sudden it's just like guilt. You know what I mean?
No, you're falling for it. And what does guilt follow up with? We have the best one, and you should buy ours. Not guilt, sales. Dude.
Well, it doesn't work because I don't buy shit. But
yeah.
Unless it's a fucking stupid T-shirt.
Unless it's like an 8-pack for fucking $4 at the dollar store.
Like,
that's where I get deodorant.
They're like, your fucking deodorant's slowly giving you cancer. And I'm like, ooh, a Sabbath Rules T-shirt? Like, screw you know what I mean? I don't care. Kill me now. So you know, we were talking about phantom pain. I realized I was old. This is another thing. I sneezed, and I've done this before where like a different part of my body seizes up. Like if you sneeze, like, I feel like the older I get, like the worse a sneeze is for me. And my taint
it's like a
seized up.
fall.
Yeah.
Like a fall. Like if you hear an old person sneeze, you're like, oh God, is she okay?
Well, I sneezed the other day, and it seized my taint. Which, for those of you who don't know, is the area between my ball sack and my asshole.
Anyone who listens to this fucking shit knows that.
Yeah, some people might
not
know. Who knows?
Not,
I just felt like,
Well,
describing
what's the fucking Jim Jeffries had the joke about how a sneeze is like a 10% of an orgasm or something. So maybe some there's a connection there.
Yeah,
between
possibly.
South and North are trying to connect to each other.
I was like frozen. I was like, oh. Like, I was like, why? Like, am I that out of shape where a sneeze just like has to, like, it's like a violent reminder?
Pull
like
the muscle sneezing.
Yeah, like fucking go for a run, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
You know, do something.
You gotta stretch.
I guess,
then
but who stretches to prevent seizures? You know
that's
what
what
I mean?
happens. That's sudden, like when you slip on ice.
Yeah, well, that,
and you know how you hurt yourself because it's like your body just jerks in a sudden motion that it's not used to. If you stretch, you can like handle that shit. You're a little more elastic. So I guess you have to stretch before sneezing now.
I can't keep up with it, man. I can't. I'm losing it, man. I'm fucking losing it. I knew I was a fucking loser, but after my ball sack hurt because I sneezed, like, what the fuck is happening to me?
I don't know. That's I think maybe there is a connection between, like, a sneeze does feel pretty good. I think Jim Jeffries, that's a scientific fact.
Well, yeah.
So I think that your body's sending signals back and forth. And they were like, hey, this thing got triggered. And down there, it's like, something's got to happen. You never fucking do anything. Fucking do something.
Well, the thing is, it happened. So it happened as I was leaving a customer at work. Like I was walking out of the back office. I just picked up their money. And I sneezed in a mask, too, which is gross. You know what I mean? But then I was like, like stop there like for a second.
You know
and
what?
tried to play it cool, and like I instantly started sweating. You know.
You didn't tell me you had a mask on. I think the mask was almost like you put your thumb over it. It blocked it up, and it had to go somewhere else.
The path of least resistance.
The sneeze didn't get to go out, so it's like your body, like it fucking like a backfire, like how a fucking shotgun bruises your shoulder or something. I don't know. Like if you had a mask on, you're not letting the sneeze out.
Well, at least it landed in between my balls and asshole, and not directly on my balls or in my asshole. So that
thank God you had your healthy, clean mask on that just now looks just face diarrhea all inside of it. It's a bag of your sneeze. Imagine if you sneezed in a bag and was like, "This will save us."
Yeah, this is good. Thank God I have this on. You know, it's just I'm falling apart, man. I can't hide it anymore.
Were you hiding it before?
You don't even want to fucking know, man,
I guess,
how much I do keep together. So I was driving.
Fine. No, that's the why people like listening, because they're like everybody else someone's got some other horrible story they're not going to tell. You'll actually say it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I've truly given up. I feel. You know, it's for your entertainment, people. Why does this fucking do that like that? This fucking thing. So okay, so I was driving, and I drove past this place, and I started laughing really hard.
I saw the Elton John billboard, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
PassItOn.com. It's
pretty funny.
The worst and best name for a fucking AIDS website. So I drove past this business, and the sign, it was just, it was pretty basic, but it was Parkinsons boxing. And then I just pictured people in there.
Come on, that is like... There is no way a fucking comedian hasn't woken up after a bender with a cocktail napkin that said Parkinson's boxing. Like, that's a bit. They're like, all right, there's something there.
Well, the person I was working with, they're like, what are you laughing at? I was like, I don't know if I should tell you, man. I don't know if we're there.
There's no coming back from this.
And then I did, and he's like, that's dark. And that's it. Like, kind of laugh, but nervously.
But that's probably been named that for so long.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy named Parkinson. Like, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like,
and yeah,
that's where it comes
went
from.
Out and
Maybe that was the last one. There's like Addison's disease. Like there's all these diseases, and they're like, hey, guy, maybe you shouldn't name it after yourself. Because it's given like a horrible, like, anytime it says Parkinson's, they're like, oh, God. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Parkinson? Oh,
yeah.
God. Yeah. No, that's not good, man.
Mr. Jeff AIDS.
Jeff AIDS. PassItOn.com, founder, CEO.
Hey, we didn't make the fucking billboard, man. We didn't make the billboard. That billboard passed. So many people said, yeah, good. It looks good. Go for it.
That's why, like, whoever did it, bravo.
No, every single person who did that had dinner with their spouse that night going, I didn't want to say anything. But that's crazy. And then they're like, yeah, just don't even bother. I don't know, just don't say anything, because then HR is going to show up and it's going to be a whole thing that you even brought it up.
Well, it's the most inspirational ad, I think, because he's like the gayest man alive. And if he made it, that's like inspiration. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if he passed all the tests, I guess, or you have to be negative.
It's just like, the amount of shit that doesn't get through. The amount of shit that, the amount of ideas, the amount of great ideas for TV shows we've never seen that don't get through, but that gets through. That type of shit gets through. You're like, no, or they're like, yo, they're going to let us do what?
If I worked there, that's what I would have done. Not to take credit for the idea, but the thing is, if I can just, somehow.
Well, I had an idea for a T-shirt, like a chivy douchebag kind of a T-shirt, and it looks like a university, like a school, and it's what was it? American Institute for the Defense of Sarcasm.
AIDS.
It says AIDS, and then it says we get it. So it's like defending sarcasm. Like, it's a joke, we get it. It's a joke, we get it. But AIDS, we get it. So I think these people...
It's a lot better than your fucking golfing T-shirt idea.
Golfing dolphin? That's got to exist already.
You were so excited about that. You're like, it's a dolphin in golf gear.
yeah, like little pants. No, but dude, this was the year of Awesome Possum, so I was trying to ride that wave. I was like, this is the NSYNC to their Backstreet Boys. We're gonna be fucking rich.
We're just gonna rip off their ideas.
Golfin' dolphin. All right, we need to do this now. And if we would have done it, we'd be fucking sitting in a different studio right now. We'd be sitting on top. Joe Rogan be fucking talking to us, being like, how'd you guys do it? Where did this come from?
That's true, man. That's true. Well, okay, so...
Well, hey, Zach said he saw the AIDS billboard, too. I mean, fuck, dude, it really is getting a lot done. Like, remember how we always talk about commercials, and we go, I don't even know what it was for. And then you're like, well, then it was a horrible commercial.
Yeah.
This is the fucking main thing, is supposed to sell the product. This AIDS billboard's fucking killing it, because we all are like, yo, did you see that shit? Hey, so it's probably brilliant. Like I said with the Sonic thing, they were like, let's make something purposely ridiculous so everybody talks about it. If we make it good, it's just going to fall by the wayside. Or if we just make thing that says like AIDS, like really, you know, stand up to.
But there's a lot going on in that thing. I mean, his bright red jacket and
gets your attention.
Sunglasses. Yeah, and then it's like a knight, you know, fights for AIDS or something. Which I mean, like, is he on AIDS' team? Like he
fights for AIDS.
He fights for AIDS.
I mean, Elton John's not
fights
like,
for people with
That's funny
AIDS.
that like when you think of a Knights of the Round Table, you think of like the most like manly men with like a sword and all the fucking like muscles and armor, and he's gonna fight and fuck the maidens and like be this dude. And now like the guys who are knighted are Mrs. Paul McCartney and fucking known dick sucker Elton John. Fucking
dick sucker.
Like
admitted friend is like
admitted dick sucker Elton John.
Like if
those are the knights.
Like Elton John, known dick sucker.
He is. What am I saying? Something
so.
untrue? I'm
No.
not saying I have a problem with
like,
it either. It's just funny that like you think King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and now our knights are like, well, this guy was on a TV show for 9 years, so we fucking knighted him.
Yeah,
these are our knights.
Not?
So I'm saying, what if the Vikings fucking
Gandalf's
strike?
a knight, I think, too.
Yeah, the Vikings strike. All we have is a bunch of gay musicians and actors. To like act out a scene to give him Hamlet, and then fucking we'll get killed by the Samoans.
Be pummeled, yeah.
If another Genghis Khan shows up, we're fucked. Like I'm talking a real manly man who, like, as the British are like, sir,
yeah,
he just fucking cuts his head off. That's how shit used to be.
Well, yeah, you're right. We have lacked in the knight department.
Knights have gone
like they're
downhill.
Not defending anything.
Nah, man.
But they are providing an excellent source of comedy, that's for sure. Which I don't think was their intended purpose.
Nah, that's pretty funny.
When is the queen gonna fucking die? Because it seems about time.
Never, dude. They all turn into her. Like, we got through this. Every British person, doesn't matter who they are. Jason Statham, when he gets older, is just gonna turn into the queen. They all just form into her.
So it's like her life force type of. Like,
she is Britain, and she's always been there.
All right.
The woman's been 200 years old our entire lives. She's looked exactly the same.
She was actually married to King George.
Yeah, she's married to everybody. It's been her the whole time. I think there's no other way. Well, they fucking ixnayed the one brother because he was fucking a naughty boy. Which was his name? Andrew.
The fucking Epstein doc, right? They talk about him, and he was like, I don't fuck little girls. And then he went on TV, he was like, yes, I definitely don't fuck little girls. And then they're like, no, you definitely do. And he's like, well, and then
one of his things was they like there was a picture of him like dancing with some fucking girl, some 15-year-old, and he was sweating. And he said, well, that's impossible because at that time in my life where that was dated, I was taking this prescription medication for this thing, and it causes you not to sweat. So in April of 2003, I wasn't sweating. And they were like, did you seriously just fucking say that to us? Was that, you really
the only person I know that would actually be able to recall something like that would be Kaylee. Kaylee is a master of dates, and if I don't bring up the right date or something that happened, it never happened.
War of 1812, what year?
No, you're not. Not in an argument, you're not.
No, you're not when it's weaponized.
Yeah, when it's weaponized, you fucking know at the exact date, time, what it was. I don't know shit. So, okay. I was driving by Gonzo's the other day. Remember that bar in Lockport? That weird little
like down
bar?
in the basement?
Yeah. It was cool. So there was one time when we were playing, and we were set up right next to like the patio entrance. So remember, people kept walking through our stuff, which is like a big no-no, people. If you see a band, do not walk in between, like, say, anyone and the drummer. Like, don't walk. That is not a space to move.
Yeah.
Just a public safety announcement. All right? But seriously. And so there was so many people that kept walking through, and Finally, I had enough. One guy came through, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna fucking say something. The guy happened to be black. He just happened to be black, and I was like, I was like, enough.
Throw their hands up and go like this.
I'm just saying. And he's like, yo, man, I work here. I'm just closing the door. I was like, God damn it. Like, the one time I decided to fucking say something. You know what I mean? It was just in succession of how many people did it. And then finally I was like, enough. And he's like, yo, man, I'm trying to help you out. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. The door should have been closed or locked or something. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You can explain that. That's easily explained. Well, and then it's actually hilarious. Then you make a new friend. Did I tell you about when we were playing a little festival at a friend's house over the summer, and Greg was supposed to be in town mysteriously, and he was like at his uncle's house, and he had a car, and I don't know what kind of car he had, but I gave him the address of this party I was at and we were playing at, so he might be showing up, but you know him, you never fucking know. So I'm walking out with my shit, and I see a car pulling up, and I'm like, watch this be Greg. I bet it's gonna be him. And he pulls in, and it's a dude with fucking glasses and a beard and short hair, like every dude looks, and I think it's him, and he starts rolling his window down as to start talking to me while he's still driving the car. Very Greg-like thing to do, you know what I mean? Like, just like roll down the window and go, what's up? Like, as he's driving. So as he does this, I'm like, you motherfucker! And as the window gets further down, I'm like, that is not Greg. And it was some dude like, is this the right place? He's like, am I good to park here? I'm like, oh, it's not mine. I don't give a fuck. I was like, sorry, dude. It's like, I'm waiting for somebody from California who I haven't seen in like 6 years, and I thought you were him. So that was like my excitement. And you were late. Like, you fucking just showed up to, like, because it was going to be like the classic move of your friend pulls in as your band finishes their set.
Yep.
And that was that. And it was just, that's how me and this dude met. And he was cool as shit. I hung out with him like all day. I don't really know what his name was. And she's like, dude, you can call me motherfucker. However, somebody.
You motherfucker.
You motherfucker. I was like, oh shit, you're not Greg. He's like, no, I'm not Greg. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't care. What's up now, Greg?
Yeah, Romer was famous for showing up.
Like a fucking on purpose.
Yeah.
Like last note ringing out. All right, everybody, take it easy. You'd see him walk in the door like a fucking end of like a sitcom.
Like, one more song. We're like, fuck you. That was our one more song, you asshole. You know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. People are funny about like when they. You always just put an hour earlier. No, you put the exact times if it's a real gig, but still like. People will be like, you put like, especially now with like the regulations and shit where you gotta close, you'll be like, no, it's playing until 11 on the dot. That is the noise ordinance. That is the thing. The cops will show up. You're all on drugs. For fucking. Why would we put a bat signal up for authority? Why would we do that?
It's pretty obvious. Yeah,
it's pretty like where we just keep playing until the cops show up. That's what the next step is. So yeah, we have to stop at 11. But drunk people are just like, fuck the police. You're like, yeah, because you're not the one under the light with the microphone, like the guy whose fucking face is on the thing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. People are funny. But what I'm saying is you'll say we have to stop at 11. They show up at like 10:15.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know.
And then they get pissed that you end so early, but you've been playing for 3 hours. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's not my, I don't know.
Thank you for supporting us.
No, it's cool. It's just like we have to, like, where the times aren't like, we're not fucking kidding. I don't know why people think, like, no, that's what time we're playing until. We told you exactly. Hour
if it's like
to the
party
is
a different thing.
Yeah, because that's just kind of open.
Fucking like a gig that's scheduled. Like, this is the. If you bought tickets to a show, do you show up that fucking late?
Like
to
a
go
movie,
to the show?
like a movie at a movie theater.
Right.
You're like, like 10:15 ish. They're like,
no, the credits are rolling already. You know, like
I missed the whole first part. Who is this? Is this the mom? What is this? They're like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, like 1:15 ish. Like no, 1:15 we hit play.
I was thinking about inappropriate gigs that we've played. Ones that we've agreed to that we shouldn't have played at all.
Yeah, because everybody's like, say yes to every gig.
Yeah, but then it's like, hey, you're in a band. We need music. It would be fun. But they're like, do you even know what kind of music we are? Like, somebody hired us for their engagement party. Remember when Mechanical played at fucking like Kiwanis Park? To people who did not want to hear us play.
No, yeah.
And we were in the corner, and it was in chaos. It was fucking terrible. But then I remembered when we did that Wegmans gig, just you and I.
Of course, that's the classic. We've told the story a million times. It was fucking a month before Christmas, and it paid like $200.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Why wouldn't
us,
we
were
do it?
like, yeah, that's dumb as shit that you like, because they were trying to make a little cafe situation in like the cafeteria part of Wegmans.
The manager, whoever decided it was a good idea to hire us, came to one of our shows at the Irish Rose where it was like our place.
Yeah.
So we were comfortable. People were like, she's like, I want that at Wegmans. It's like, you're never going to get that at
Never
Wegmans.
gonna
But
get that. This is a bar.
I'll take your money, sure.
Yeah.
And we weren't even that bad. I mean, we were pretty depressed, and we were drinking in the parking lot because
it was
sucked.
Dude, but that's life. That's the life, man. That's a
But
pirate's
we're
life for me. Like,
next to
you
the-
go like, all right, I got to numb myself and get through this shit to get the fucking money. Like,
Right. But being next to the Pepsi machine, I think, is the thing.
yeah, no, that's funny as shit. Because you're playing your bass and we're sitting there strumming and playing fucking songs, and then you would have to turn.
Yeah, like move
and
like
move
this,
like
and
this,
somebody like the
and someone would-
microphone's the thing, and it's like, you know,
the
like
ice machine, like
how much fucking ice do you need, man? You know.
So it'd be someone fill it up like a family of 6, like filling up their cups. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking whatever, man. Just get the fucking loot and be done. It was like a 2-hour thing.
But I started
It was
thinking
a good
about
pay.
remember the sushi lady and her daughter. That
Yes.
was like our only fan who was
Yeah.
just basically she had to sit in front of us because it was basically like.
It was a kid
watching
doing
her
her
for
homework.
her, but
Yeah.
like she didn't ask us, and like like
No,
we're not
she just
going
left
anywhere.
her kid. It was like an Asian kid doing her homework while her mom was working at the sushi
I'm the most
stand.
advanced, weird handheld computer system I've ever seen in my life. That is
Years
not available
before the iPad. Years
Yeah.
before the iPad, this happened. She had like a little thing, and she was like, zoop, boop, boop, boop. And we were like, what the fuck
hell?
is she doing?
And then it got like kind of silent there for a minute. We were trying to figure out what to play, and I was just looking around. And at this point, I was like, is anybody even listening? So I looked at you and I did the and yeah, truly nobody was listening because that was incredibly offensive.
Yeah, it was
but
just us.
that's funny to me is that it's not even what it was. It's just the fact that nobody's listening. Remember when we played?
Well, that's not.
that wedding.
That's funny that's not why that we didn't get asked back. One of the complaints was something that we sang a song about marijuana.
About drugs, yeah.
Because we did Tom Petty fucking get
You don't know how
to the
it
point,
feels.
let's
Yeah.
roll another joint. And I'm like, do you have any idea how many times that song plays a day in
Yeah.
your store? You just play the radio. That song plays every single fucking day in your store. At least once. This is America. They play that song plays every day.
Maybe she got a bunch of complaints. I just remember waking up the next day because I think you and I probably went out and got super trashed after that because we were like, fuck. And then I remember waking up, like, looking at my phone, like, and I voicemail. I was like, who the fuck is this? And I fucking open it up, and she is that manager lady. She's like, I think you guys were great, but we are not able to have you come back because of some complaints about drug use in your songs. That I was like, what? Oh, what? Tom Petty? Like what? Like I'm pretty sure I smoked with you at the fucking bar when you saw us play to get us this gig.
No, yeah, exactly. You went out to a bar and you saw us partying our balls off, like partying our fucking balls off. And we're like, yeah, like I want to fucking, let's have this going. And then you brought us in and we did what we do. And you're like, oh, hey,
in a grocery store.
And and you realize this was a bad idea. And I have to pay these schmucks way too much now.
You're right though. You gotta do what you gotta do for the money.
We
man.
got paid to go in there and cause trouble, which is great, and do like a super hilarious joke to a little Asian kid, and fucking sing about drugs to a bunch of people buying fucking groceries, walking in, looking at us like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Stoner cart boy was digging it. I remember that.
Yeah, no, that was another story, just like the fucking kids coming out of the woods, or if you play Grateful Dead, the fucking, we were playing some Dead song, and out of the kitchen comes some kid, like, oh, and you're just like, God damn it, it's like a bug light for fucking hippies. It really is.
It is. What do you play to keep them away? Slayer?
Yeah, like metal and shit. But then you draw in metal people.
Ooh, metal people's tough.
To
get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are. They're a strange breed. If it's just metal people, I fuck with all kinds of music. But when you find it like a just metalhead,
yeah, you're wearing a Sabbath Rules shirt.
Sabbath does fucking rule.
I think Sabbath rules as well.
You know what
I think a lot of metal rules, and I think it's great. I think any sort of subculture is great, But it's like when it does become like religious, and motherfuckers are like Metallica or death, and you're like, all right, man, chill the fuck out.
I remember because I listened to Metallica like a lot, and in college, where I met Greg in our music class, everyone, like all these metalheads were like shit talking Metallica, and that was the first time I ever heard anybody that wasn't like a girl talk shit about Metallica.
It was like,
and they're like, he's not fast enough, blah blah blah, and I'm like, who cares? Like it sounds good, and they're like, nah, fucking Joe Satch all day, and I'm like, name a Joe Satriani, you know what I mean? They're like, the
hate
winds of time. You're like, who cares? What? Shut up. You know?
That's fine that's your dude. Like, I hate people that talk about music like it's sports. Like, one thing's better than the other. Like, that's a fucking impossibility. Like, I'd put the Blabs over them any day. And it's like your ranking systems. Like, I guess maybe there's some straight obvious ones, but you're just like, no, man, it's just whatever fucking tickles your fancy. Like, I don't know. We all have different DNA. Just something hits us. But it also is a time in your life when something hits you at a certain time in your life, and you're like, I'm obsessed with this now. You know
I've noticed that within the, not necessarily jam band community, but just people who love fish. You'll tell them a story about being at a show, and then they will one-up your story with another time that they were at a different show of something cooler that they think happened, or they were there for this, or they were there for that. And you're like, oh, well, I saw this. And they're like, yeah, but one time in '98, fucking, you know what I mean? Trey like sneezed and seized his ball sack, and then they mic'd it, and I was there, man, and fucking, you know what I mean?
It does. It's like any subculture is
no
gonna
fish fan will ever let the other guy have the story.
Of course, any subculture is gonna have this fucking. It's levels of douchery. When you have that many people, you have that big of a population, some of them are going to be fucking douches. And especially when it's like a thing like they got into in college or high school, and it like gave them an identity. Yeah. And it gave them, especially walking around on drugs, being young. Like, I know that. I had a little taste of that.
Absolutely.
So it gives you cockiness and identity. It gets a little Peter Pan syndrome. And then you see like the guy and like, you know, just like, damn, dude. Like, this is your fucking world.
I remember, so I was like the metal kid in like 9th and 10th grade, and then I met you guys, and you were like, you know, let's jam or whatever. I didn't know who the fuck you were, but then I like, because my brothers were into a lot of different shit, like, you know, like everything from Alice in Chains to fucking Fish, you know what I mean, all over the place. So I was familiar with that music, but then once I started to like, I was like, oh, okay, these people do whatever they want, and it's not a fucking pop song, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, I hated radio music at the time in high school, and jam band music to me was a complete fuck off to that stuff. It was just a complete release, everything like that. And I started getting really into all these bands, and I would check out festival websites and listen to like a sample of each band song. And then I remember like I made my brother Matt a jam band CD, like a mix, and he was like, hey man, thanks for the mix. You know that like not every jam band's good though, right? And I was like, and that like blew my mind. I was like,
no.
Yeah, I was like, okay, no, you're right. You know what I mean? I was like, just because they jam, dude, doesn't mean that that's like the best shit. You know what I mean?
The thing about the Fish and the Dead,
not even Fish, it's like the weird little.
Well, the thing about them, the fucking nucleuses,
yes.
You know what I mean? The big thing, the big bangs that, you know, is they were completely fucking unique.
Yeah.
There's no band that played like the Grateful Dead. There was no band that wrote like them. There's no band, the same thing with Fish. They were completely unique, and they're very, very fucking musically different. I mean, they go through different genres. They're led by a charismatic, bearded guitarist, and, you know, it's fun to do drugs and go see them. That's what they got in common, but musically very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like the thing about them is they were completely unique. The way they ran their whole crew was unique. The way they ran their whole career and released things was unique. They were just artists, and that's what you should be, is unique.
Right.
But then a million fucking Fish copycat bands come out, or Dead copycat bands that just sound like them, and it's like, well, that's not, you're defeating. I love this music too, but it's defeating the purpose. Is you should be completely doing fucking unique, run shit your own way, figure out how to make it work your own ways, business wise, with everything. It should be completely fucking unique. And those are bands who both had massive success completely outside of the fucking industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when in the late 90s, early 2000s, when like the internet was like Napster and shit was like killing the fucking music business, was dying. Fish was like, huh? You guys are having some trouble over there? Oh yeah, sorry. No, sorry, we just did 100,000 in a field in the middle of fucking nowhere. No, no, that sucks, man. MP3s have actually led to us becoming a fucking religion. You know, they used it smart. They were fucking smart as fuck about that shit.
Somebody sent me a meme the other day, and it kind of blew my mind. It said, Primus is Tool for rednecks.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And I was like, oh my God, yes, it is. You know what I mean? Like, for hillbillies, rednecks, it doesn't matter. Now, if you're one of or both of those things, I don't know. Some people get offended. I'm not a redneck, I'm a hillbilly. You know what I mean?
Yo,
who cares?
There's a dude on Instagram who, like, you find these characters throughout, like, the whole, like, jam band scene and shit like that. Yeah, like, hashtag everything. There's this dude named Joel something. He's this like Indonesian kid who like loves Dixieland music and the Allman Brothers and playing banjo. He's actually pretty good at banjo, but he's like, he also like teaches like art therapy for autism and stuff. And like, he's just funny kid. And he wears a fucking hat and he has a fucking rebel flag around him all the time. And like, he lives in Indonesia, I'm assuming, in like some sort of school. And he's like, Indonesian Redneck is a hashtag. All his hashtags are from. I'm like fascinated by this. Something about, because it's like him in Indonesia with people all Indonesian. And then in the middle of it is this kid in a Merle Haggard t-shirt and a fucking cowboy and a Confederate flag bandana.
You don't really ever like think of
You're just like, something about that music just grabbed this motherfucker. Yeah. And now he plays banjo and harmonica and shit. And like loves the Allman Brothers and Merle Haggard and outlaw music and shit like that. You're like, that's pretty fucking cool.
I saw a video of the other day of Derek Trucks playing when he was like 13, and there was almost no difference to him playing now.
You thought it was a different video when you downloaded it.
Yeah, that's true. I was kind of disappointed, but the sound was great. And actually, he looks the same too.
You saw Ux 13, and you're like,
oh. No, I can't muck up my new computer, man. No, now with kiddie porn, dude, it's too easy to get caught.
Well, that's why Virtual VPN, everybody, our first sponsor. That's how we led into it.
Remember we did that Allman Brothers it was like it was a two an Allman Brothers song. It was an old bit that we did, but it was it was Ramblin' Man by the Allman Brothers, but it was Nambla Man. Remember?
Yeah. I don't really remember any of the other
Something about like doing them in the can.
Lord, I was born a gambling man. You could do that, and a whole crowd of fucking people would just.
When we played that wedding party at Pearl Street, it was awesome. We were kind of dressed up. Remember, we stayed in that fucking loft next door. We all partied. It was amazing. But we played the Richard Cheese version of "Rape Me." His cover of Nirvana, remember that? Yeah. And there was like their grandparents were dancing to that.
Has changed.
Rape me, my friend. Everybody, rape me. And like, we knew what it was, and we were like, let's see if we can get away with this.
They request it? They gave us a set list because it had the thing from Old School on it. The fucking need you more than ever, and all those really complicated songs like that we'd learn once for like a trick, and it was like really weird and complicated. There was always just my vision of all those songs is you and Andy looking at me
like, where's the key change?
Like F.
And I would have to like sit back so that Andy could see where my fucking finger
which is like on the fret. Both you like with fear in your eyes looking at me, and I'm just going F. It's F, because don't worry, follow me to F. It's okay. Because it would be like, because you guys would just like the patience. Because some of those songs that you learn, like we would learn these easy jams and then make them complicated as fuck ourselves.
Yeah.
But then like when we were doing the girl songs, like I think the bridge would be like a different thing. It didn't make any fucking sense.
What I learned about learning pop songs is that there's always some weird the producers like, we need something completely different for this bridge. It's like 15 different chords, and then it makes no sense, and then you're gonna go back into the fucking chorus because
they want you to come back into a big chorus,
right? And that makes sense. It works. But when we were learning it, we were always like, hopefully, let's make when we go back into the chorus at least awesome, so people will forget the fuckery that just happened in the last 15 seconds. You know what I mean? But yeah, we had when we were singing "Rape Me," there was grandparents dancing. People were just like,
Because it was a jazz song.
Yeah, and like not paying attention to the lyrics whatsoever. And it was a nice, classy looking place, and we got to sing "Rape Me" a lot, and like nobody said anything. Maybe the staff was like, "You get a load of these fucking guys," you know what I mean? But
no, man, if we were doing it like it was back in the day, I remember. Okay, remember the song where hey.
Yeah.
Hey. It was that.
Lumineers, yeah.
That was the time of that song. Because I remember sitting at the bar at Pearl Street, and that song was on, and everybody was fucking singing it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was that fucking whatever the meme is where the guy's sitting there and everything else is on fire.
We did the hipster song.
Yeah, the hipster song was funny. But, so it was obviously whatever year that was. So it was that time where we could fucking... where we could do shit like that, and it wasn't. I don't know, nobody was fucking triggered or freaked out.
Yeah, that's
people
true.
thought it was funny because ironic.
The G-spot punchers kind of existed.
Here's what
it's
ironic.
Time.
It's not like a fucking hey, let's make fun of fucking rape victims. It's like it's a song. It's an anti-rape song that Kurt Cobain wrote, and it's a harsh song. It's meant to be shocking and harsh, and he was a cocky little motherfucker, which is why he was loved and why should be a revered person. He was very brave. So he came out with this cocky ass song and said, yeah, rape me, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Just a ballsy thing just to put it right out there. That's a very feminist, pro-women song. And it's ironically funny for Richard Cheese to do like a smooth lounge jazz version of this fucking hardcore punk protest song.
Yeah.
And then it was funny. So for us to do that, like we got the joke of it being like a wedding party. Yeah. It's all the old school joke. It's all the Dan Band.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like just playing inappropriate music, like playing it like classy music, but like then throwing in a fuck here and there, saying gross things to nice music. It's a cheap laugh. So it's
it is,
but it really works.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I fucking love it, man. One of my favorite things about you, there's not many, but one of them, is your ability to create lyrics on the spot. So if somebody was fucking around, say, in our area, or like with your girlfriend at the time, or, hitting on them while you're watching them do it, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden you would make the song about that guy. I remember there was one time you and I were playing at the pub, back when we used to play for like... potential DWIs all the time because they wouldn't pay us. They just gave us free drinks. Remember that? So it was like every Wednesday night we got to try our luck with that Lewiston Police Department. So but there was somebody who was fucking around and I think it was this guy who was like hitting on every single fucking...
He was just a problem.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I was like, if this dude comes at me, everybody in this bar is just gonna grab him.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he just was a guy who came in and everyone hated him. And as the entertainers, we're kind of responsible for like keeping a cool vibe in there, right? I would say. And if someone's causing a problem and I have a microphone and you get microphone balls, you do. But it's like, because it does give you a power. You go, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Stop being a creep. And then they stop. If you go up to him and say, hey, stop being a creep, he'll try to man up to you. If you do it through a PA system, fucking tail goes right between those fucking legs.
About that guy specifically, though, he was the only person in the entire building at that moment that didn't know that you were singing about.
Yeah, no, that's why it's funny.
I know. It was amazing. It was incredible. I remember we were playing at fucking Tin Pan, and... The bartender's douchebag fucking boyfriend, who was my former boss at the country club at Niagara Falls, he was like throwing ice at me while we were playing. You remember that? And I called him out, and I was like,
down.
Yeah, and he was yelling, turn it down, and he started throwing ice at me. And I remember I called him out on the mic, and then he stood up, and I was like, what are you gonna fucking knock me out in front of these people because you're a douchebag? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you know what I mean? And then like, I think people started to like kind of like, yo, man, chill. Not to me, to him.
Yeah.
And but it was just funny. I was like, what are you gonna do? Fucking come over and hit me because you're an asshole? You know?
Because he was sitting there drinking all day. He was in his comfort zone. He's in a small bar with like probably his friends, which were like his lackeys.
Yeah.
He was the coolest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And then, you come in.
He's like, hey, I know that kid. And we didn't get along at work,
Oh, so we already didn't like you.
Yeah.
It was already just ready bad news. Yeah, that's wwe I don't like, I found my safe space to play where I'm welcomed. I haven't played a gig. We haven't really played a Lewiston gig in a long fucking time. Yeah, that was a toilet flushing.
That was a toilet flushing.
That was a fucking Corona Light.
That wasn't one of your fucking cheap sound effects. You know what I mean? Switch the story. This is shit.
Nah, man. People you get a weird. It gets a weird effect from people, especially dudes, especially drinking dudes trying to get laid who don't get laid. Like it's just like
it's
you
like,
get such a weird energy from them because they want to use you to try to be cooler, but you're just like essentially a musician at a certain point. It's kind of like a fucking plumber. Like, you're like, dude, I'm just here to do the job.
Yeah, I'm paying to do. And,
I'm doing my job. I plug all this stuff in. I use it to make people dance and drink, and then I go home.
You're in a room filled with a bunch of people, and each person has their own individual personality. Isn't that a mind-blowing observation? Yeah. But sometimes when you're in a room with egomaniacs or people who are attention seekers, and you are the fixed part of the evening because you are the night's entertainment with music and it's loud.
Yeah.
Some people can't handle that.
Yeah.
And then that mixed with alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, and we see some of the douchiest fucking people, man, do that shit.
It's so funny.
I remember one time somebody was trying to fucking I don't know, they were starting shit with me while we were playing a show, and I said something on the mic, and I don't remember what it was, but a bunch of my friends, I think it was like Timmy and like a few other people like kind of stood up and were like, don't. And the guy was like, okay. Because, you know, he didn't know me. I didn't know him. But he didn't know that we knew the entire fucking town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of a nice, cool moment where I was like, okay, they got my back.
Strangers step up just because we were playing. Like, you get people on your side because if you're doing good and you're playing and you're doing your service, which is fucking play good music and have a good time, make sure everyone has fun. Even strangers will fucking have your back.
Yeah.
If I go to a guy, if we're jamming and if someone's into the show and I see a fucking issue and I say, hey man, my friend over there is being cornered by a gentleman who she does not know, so could you go help her out? Like, it's happened where they're like, yeah, dude, fucking totally.
Wow.
And they just go, hey, come here for a minute, and then like just let it blow down. You know, just so shit doesn't blow up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I can smell fucking trouble coming. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like a sixth sense in that
Yeah.
shit. Because when you're in the shit, which is really, you know, it's either used by musicians or people who are in nom.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in the shit, it's like fucking, you know, you see like the worst and best of people having the best time and then also at the same time the worst time.
And
there's no in between really. And if there is an in between, you don't interact with those people. It's the people who are having the best time who are up in your fucking face.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who are having the worst time who's going to show everyone how much of a bad time they're having.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like you don't really get to fucking. That was like.
Maybe it's good. Maybe this Corona shit's kind of filtered some shit out because like now people are coming out like they're actually wanting to go out because it's a pain in the ass to go out and it kind of sucks to go out. So you got to wear a mask and sit down and it's fucking stupid.
It is a big deal.
It does. Like if you're going out, it's because you actually want to go to a thing. You know?
Even putting pants on now is like a big, like real pants.
I just refuse to do it.
I mean, just like today, I was like, no, maybe, you know, I'll wear my comfort pants because this is comfortable and I've worked today and now I'm going to, you know, do my relaxing thing, which is do my show. And then I'm like, now I'm going to put jeans on. And I was like, and then my arm hurt on top of it. Yeah. Another side effect is that of that fucking shot that I got was that I grew a really weird dick 31 years ago.
Yeah.
So, it's a hell of a thing. Just watch out. I got the Moderna vaccine.
I spent a solid 15 minutes trying to convince her that Mel Gibson's name is Melanie.
Melanie Gibson.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have a daughter named that, then I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I got this whole
other side idea about like him joining the Spice Girls. Like there's Mel C, there's Mel B, and then there's Mel G. Jesus Spice.
Brave Spice.
Brave Spice. Something. Jesus Spice.
Rig Spice.
Yeah.
Lethal Spice.
Lethal Spice.
Spice.
Lethal Spice is a good one.
I
like
that.
Mel G.
Mel G is Lethal Spice.
Melanie Gibson.
Oh, man, dude. That's funny.
That's a good idea.
There was a... Okay, so this is kind of a two-part but unrelated story. All right, so basically if you're Italian in Niagara Falls, you go to Colucci's funeral home to die. And then when you're dead, your family eats at the Como. That's pretty much how it goes. If you're Italian in Niagara Falls, you die at Colucci's, and everyone
We've been to many.
Right, it's just solid.
Punch,
like when I've been to like a funeral that's not that, it feels weird. And I'm like, is this legit? Like, is this guy going to heaven? Because I haven't had gnocchi yet. Like,
really
you know what I'm saying? It's really weird. Like, what do you mean? There's just a picture of him. I thought we're supposed to stare at an open dead body for like hours
and then go eat.
Yeah, and then go eat at the fucking Como. You know. So okay, so not the guy who owns it, but there's a guy who my family has known for years, and he like helps out with funerals. He's not like an employee. He's like one of the pallbearers that like on call Paul. And so when I was in the police academy, we were at NU, so we would like shower all the time at the fucking gym in NU. Well, this guy apparently used the gym at NU, so I haven't seen this guy since the last time somebody died, which thankfully was a long time ago. And then I walked into the shower and saw his asshole and balls, and then he's just sitting there, and I'm like, and he's like. I'm like, yeah, hi, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't want to acknowledge this. Like, yes, I haven't seen you. Yeah, you know my family. Like, this is not the time for
just
like
scrubbing up.
Yeah, just like
I haven't seen you since.
Hey, how's your dad? Huh? How's your dad doing?
I haven't seen you since Tommy's thing, huh? It's a shame, real shame.
Yeah, how you been doing since that? Like, yeah, it was very odd. And then, so, because I think actually, all right, so the last time that I did see him was like, it was like my grandmother's funeral or wake or whatever. And so, you know how people will put in like, memory, like trinkets or something in the casket, like before they finally close it, before they ship off to the fucking, right.
Macaulay Culkin needed his glasses.
Yeah, he did. Oh my God, dude, that just like hit me so hard. This is the worst scene ever.
This is good because like, when I hit those references, like I know you're gonna get what I'm talking about.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible.
So anyway, Jesus, man. That was a heavy fucking part of that movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so. Okay, you threw me off here. Oh yeah, so it's my sister. Okay, so it's all of us, and it's like the family, like no friends or anything. It's like the last, like we said something at the funeral home before we go to the graveyard. That sounds morbid, but cemetery, the graveyard.
The definition of morbid, yeah, the graveyard.
The graveyard.
Yeah,
that's not what you call it. Anyway, so. I don't know, dude. See how little I go to these things.
That's like how old commoners would call it. I don't know. I think cemetery. Yeah, it's a semantics thing. They just called it cemetery because it sounds nicer.
Chiseling on an epitaph. Died of cholera. You know. So my sister, she goes up to the casket and she's like by herself, just crying. And my mom's like, Steve, go be with your sister. So I did. It was a nice moment. Put my arm around her. She stopped crying. Then we put her. So one of the trinkets that we decided to leave was my parents and aunts and uncles and my grandparents. They all loved playing cards, and they would play for quarters essentially. So the money that she had left over from like her last game of cards, we put in the casket. We put it in the side. All right. Like just next to, obviously we didn't like throw it on the body, but we put it next to it. And we were sitting there, my sister's crying. It's a nice quiet moment. And we just hear voomp. And it fucking, so the bag of coins sunk in between. Now this is the first time I learned that a casket is pretty much hollow.
Yeah.
All right. So there's like the bed where they lay and then this much room of nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So a bag of quarters sunk into the hollow metal thing. And it was like, and then all the quarters started rolling around in the bottom of the fucking casket. And you could hear it. And then there was that one that like was like, you know what I mean? It kept doing it
forever.
And then the mood just broke. That we started laughing. Everyone started laughing. Even my grandfather was laughing because it was just like, dude, what a ridiculous thing to happen. You know what I mean?
It sounded like when you like a pool table at a bar when you fucking and then underneath the table.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny though, man, because it was like what a fucking icebreaker. It was perfect and was funny, perfect for our family because we laugh at very inappropriate times. But I mean, dude, there were so many quarters because she was really good at cards and they all rolled around, so it's not really like we need to open this? Can we, you know what I mean? Get some of the we were just like fuck it, leave it.
So just like while they were moving it around, did you hear it like jingling and jangling?
You know what? I didn't. I think at that point it might have been.
It's settled.
Yeah. I mean, they could very easily move around. I thought I don't know, but I didn't hear it because that would be weird too. If the joke kept running and then it would just get creepy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Then we wouldn't forget because we kind of felt bad. We're like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, here's your last, our thing for you. And then it just.
Shit. You don't want to touch it. It's, you know what I mean?
No,
it's all made up. They worked on it. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah,
it's
creepy.
Very, I don't like
very
it. Don't
strange.
do that. Don't do that to me. I don't want that to happen.
You just fucking, what's Macaulay's name in that movie? Because she used
My girl?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, I don't want to be fucking pancaked and fucking displayed. I don't want to be put on display.
You don't
like
want your, like,
Gaddafi.
knickknacks and shit like that?
Burn it all with me, I guess. Do a fucking Gilbert Grape's mom and just fucking torch the whole house with all my shit in it.
Yeah, dude, it would have been
Lee and
so
all the
much
cats
money.
are outside looking at it.
It would have been so much money to bury her, man. She was like 1,000 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
There's
oh my
no
God,
way.
dude, the guys they should do a Gilbert Grape Fight Club crossover where they fucking like become like billionaires. They become Elon Musk of soap off of the fat they got off this lady.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, that's another fucking sad movie. Kaylee and I watched that not too long ago. She's like, I never seen it. I was like, I think it's good. I was like, I don't know. It used to be on TV all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch, Leonardo DiCaprio be a retard. It's fun. You don't see that very often.
That was his one and done. Same thing in Titanic. He wasn't retarded. He was poor. Same thing to me.
Dude, it's a spectacular movie, okay? Titanic. You say what it is, but I mean, it's very well done.
It's fucking incredible. Like the ship, the sinking, it really is like like the way they built that is incredible.
It's fucking nuts. But
why half of it has to be about a couple of fucking teenagers running around titty fucking in old cars? And you're just like, all right, man, sink the fucker. This should be an action movie.
It shouldn't have been 3 hours long. Yeah, it should have been,
Well, same thing with fucking Pearl Harbor.
The thing should have just said Titanic, and then them being like, oh, fuck! And then, you know what I mean? And then it's just an hour of the ship going down, because, it took a while, But
they need to have co-directors. Where, like
4 rooms, like, type of thing?
Where, like one director handles, imagine
each level of the ship.
Well, no. Each section of the movie. One director, you have like the fucking Coen brothers handling like the quirky comedy fucking scenes. And then you have somebody handling the dramatic shit, some Aaron Sorkin written super political dramatic shit. But then, bring in Michael Bay and have him blow a whole bunch of shit up. So the action scenes are fucking awesome.
Right.
Like that, you make the ultimate movie by going, you just do your best part. You know what I mean here.
Well, James Cameron actually does a really fucking great job at that in his movies. But like, I cannot stand the two of them saying each other's names like 300 times in a row.
Who?
Jack and Rose. They both are just searching for each other the entire. Jack, Rose. She said, Jack. Oh, Jack, Rose. Like, and it's the whole movie. As soon as they meet each other and introduce each other and their names, that is the rest of the 2 hours.
You should watch it, do a watch along and count and do like a check wherever they say Jack or Rose.
You can just look it up. It's like, and I'm telling you, it's over 100 times, maybe even 200.
That's an old fucking throwback to a lot of stuff. A lot of the new X-Men movies. When I think of them, I just hear Charles. Like, that's all.
Charles.
That's what they are. They're just people yelling Charles at each other.
We are the future, Charles, not them.
Just people yelling their names at each other.
Yeah.
It's an old an old thing. All right, so fucking Lee likes to ruin the greatest films ever. She did it with. She pokes a plot hole and stuff. So we're watching because they just did the Godfather Coda thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so I haven't seen that yet.
All right, let's check that out. But let's watch the first 2 and let's lead into it.
Okay.
And then because Corona, what the fuck else are we gonna do? And then I was like, you know what? I have the 7-hour epic on a fucking thumb drive. We'll watch the 7-hour epic up until we gets to the 3rd one, and then watch the Coda, which is to this date the ultimate fucking way to do it.
Right.
So she's talking.
That version is fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. So she's talking about when Vito is like a young man. He's working at the grocery store. They go to see that play where the guy with the funny eyebrows is in love with the girl.
Yeah.
And he's like the Don. We couldn't figure the guy. What was his name? Don Feluccio or something like that. We were thinking
Don
Chi.
Filipino.
We had Chi. We kept saying Don Chi, and then we were like Don Chi, and I was like, it's not Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
But we should write a mob movie where the guy's name's Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Don Postals.
Oh, Don Knotts. Don Rickles.
Don Rickles.
Yeah. Don Cheadle. That's fucking funny. So, all right. So we have a 22-year-old Vito Corleone. And his friend, he's like, who is this guy? He points to the guy in the white, all dressed in white, and says, who is this guy? He's like, oh, he runs the neighborhood, and we all have to pay him. He's explaining to him everything. And
he's always like,
yeah, exactly. He really is like a cartoon cat.
He's dastardly. Yeah. That's how I describe.
You know what he looks like? And this is weird to me. He looks like the little kid in Jurassic Park who said, more like a 6-foot turkey.
Yeah.
How you couldn't tell that kid's gender. Yeah. He has that weird blue-eyed look to his face.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Little fat Jake Gyllenhaal. That's what I call it.
This whole time, every time De Niro's with his friend, they're in the grocery store that his friend's dad owns.
Yeah.
And the guy comes in and starts shaking him down for money, and De Niro's like, "What's going on over here?" He's like, "Oh, he's got to pay him. He's got to." And then she's like, "How does he not know any of this? Did he just he got there when he was 9? Did he just? How does he not pick? He's never once was like, hey, who's the guy in the white hat who fucking comes here every single day and fucking beats up your dad?" I'm like, and as I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe this is where the story picks up. He just met these guys. He just moved here. He just got this job today. You know what I mean? Maybe this is him learning about how it's run. And right there is the scene where his dad has to fire him.
Yeah. And
fucking De Niro goes over and literally says, "I've known you all my life.
Oh, no.
I've worked at this store since I was a young boy. You've been like a father to me."
Oh, fuck.
And I'm just and I'm like, not once. You finally took you 25 years to go, hey, who's the guy all dressed in white with a gun who's been coming in here and fucking shaking us down? You didn't pick up on any of this. You're the godfather.
No one in that town could have a girlfriend without that guy fucking her. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He just started to pick up.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's just you've been living a completely innocent. He kept asking him, I get it's supposed to be for storytelling, so we learn who it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's he's asking his friend, and his friend's explaining it to him, and his friend's not like, dude, you've been here every day. What are you talking about? Well, you're just it's if I looked over at Kaylee and was like, hey, who is that?
Who's that?
You'd be like, what?
It's my fucking fiance, man. You're like, oh, yeah, okay. We got to pay her.
Yeah. It was one of those things that Lee pointed out. I was like, God damn it.
I needed Lee's help to ruin the prequels for Star Wars, but when her comment that you told me when you guys were watching it, and she's like, why is Sam Jackson in space? And I was like,
well, she didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I was like, why is Sam Jackson in space? You know what I mean? Why is Sam Jackson underwater getting eaten by a shark? Why is Sam Jackson? You know what I mean?
She walked in on it, and it was just him, and she's like, "Why is Sam Jackson in space?" She was like a fucking SNL sketch, and then it cuts to Yoda, and she goes, "What's he doing there?" And I'm like, "This is a Star Wars." She's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, you know what? That's the exact reaction. It should just be like,
"What the fuck?"
Yeah, but he's that's a cool dark fucking Black Snake Moan, you know what I mean? Throwing him in Star Wars is just it's like the Aerosmith ride. I don't know why, it just has that vibe to it. It's, you know what I mean? It just seems
it's out of place. I mean, Star Wars has a lot of, okay,
Star Wars
Harrison Ford famous, right?
Yeah.
But then he became all these other things, but then but when you have an established Star Wars, right? And nobody knows who the fuck anybody else is. He's using a lot of newcomers. And then Sam Jackson it's Sam Jackson. He's not. What's his fucking name in that movie? Mace Windu.
I almost said Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's fucking what you call it? Taken. Liam Neeson. Yeah. Which he was cool.
Taken.
It's Taken.
Your name is just Taken now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Pretty much.
Hey, Taken.
Well, that's what he did. He took Anakin Skywalker away from his mom. She was like, okay. You know what I mean? He's like, I freed your son. You don't know me, but I'm going to take him with me now.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, but you're still a slave. So she's like, really? It's like, yep, goodbye. And fucking see you later. And then the next movie, she's been kidnapped and tortured for 10 years, and then she dies. So, that's Anakin's mom, you know what I mean? So, that, I don't know, man. I could obviously talk forever about how much I hate and love Star Wars at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just becomes it becomes a bank, dude. It just becomes a big thing, or it's I would love to go to the Star Wars world they built, But I don't want to be crammed in there with a bunch of different fucking smelly-ass tourists and shit, sweating fucking fat American people sweating out their pretzels. No, yeah. Like, it sounds awful. It's just but they're like, you know what? We're just going to cash in on everything. There's Star Wars fucking everything.
When I worked at
it started as like a fucking clubs, indie movie.
The best part of the day was enjoying the golf course without any
hanging
fucking
out
golfers on it.
On the golf course and like wondering if Harrison Ford was going to crash a plane in any second and you were going to get to meet him. Yeah.
No, they're like fucking, you know what I mean? It was just like there was always like an hour in the morning where no members were there and you got to enjoy this beautiful piece of land without anyone in it. And then the golfers would come and ruin it. So it would be kind of the same thing. Star Wars, I would love to experience that, like you're saying, and then all the other people would ruin the fucking entire experience. You know, I don't know. The golf course was a strange place to work because, like, we're all these, like, sweaty, gross, like, stone grunt guys, and then there's, like, fancy people who pay a lot of money.
It was displayed in the film.
For us to take care of their shit, you know.
It was displayed in the film Caddyshack. Caddyshack 2. You could see it was a class war.
Indeed.
When you guys were allowed to use the pool, it was fucking.
You know,
chaos.
It was funny because like everyone there practically sucks. I mean, there's like a few people who are good, but like for the most part, these guys, the most rewarding thing,
like the golfers,
is to see like them line up for a shot. For like, you know, they'll take a bunch of they'll take a bunch of fucking practice swings, and then they fucking fuck up the ball like it's Shanks, you know, hard right or whatever. And like but then it almost became like a road rage type of thing where I'd be doing my thing on the mower, I'd have my headphones in, stoned, fucking, I'm in my element, right? And then I'd have to move over for the golfers. So, and then eventually, like, so some of the lady golfers would hit right at you. They wouldn't even wait for you to get out of the way. Like, they're brutal. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a game. What? I'm a fucking human being. You psycho. And then
entitled rich wives.
Right. So that's when I started referring, you know, so every girl or woman like that on the golf course was a clam. They were just clams. You got to get out of the way of the clams.
I would have gone with hole.
They're holes.
Yeah.
The clams. And then, you know, golfers are faggots.
Not creative bunch out there.
Yeah, well, think about it. They're not homosexual in any way. Not
whacking a ball with little sticks, little guy.
Yeah, but it's just the way they dress and the way they act is not. You know what I mean? They're just what word would describe that best and hit them where it hurts.
Go back to the fucking fish thing. It just becomes like an identity. The guy who just wears Titan, like everything he owns, it says Titan on it now. You know, it just becomes their hobby, becomes what takes over. They have their job, their kid goes to dance practice, and they go fucking golf.
But there's like the one guy at work who was the old wise man who didn't say much at all. And there was a time where I was like off of the fairway, like waiting for these pack of faggots to hit their balls, and the guy, like, he rolls up silently on his cart and he's got to wait, and he's just sitting there. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, faggots. And again, like, nothing about their sexuality. It was just, it describes like the whole aura perfectly. You know what I mean?
Why is it a good word? Patrice said hard consonants are funny. And I think that's what it is. That's why, like, Puerto Rican is funnier than Mexican.
Yeah.
Mexican's not really funny. It's too smooth. Puerto Rican's
I think it's funny calling anybody who's remotely Hispanic Mexican, because mostly everyone who's not Mexican hates it.
Hard consonants are funny. So that has some hard consonants in it. And it makes it just
absolutely
makes it a good word.
It's a very
cunt is just a hard consonant. Yeah. It's just a fist that's like not even individual fingers. It's just like a fucking solid fist.
Individual fingers, just right there.
Yeah, it's a great word. Why would we? You know, so these words can be used in not even positive ways. You know, some people are cunts. I don't know what the fuck you want me to say.
They are. For sure, absolutely, man. And it's just it was just funny that it became like almost like a therapeutic thing for every one of us. Now it's not like we'd be like yelling at them like faggots. We just under our breath every fucking time with the hum of the mower going. We're just like fucking faggots. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
so funny if they know that
flock of clams.
I bet fucking flight attendants do that too. It's loud as shit on a plane.
Yeah.
When someone asks for some shit, it's just like, yeah, can I have 3 of those little things of Jack with like Like, oh, you want 3 Cokes too? You're like, I mean, if you have to. I just pretty much, do you want to, oh, you want me to give me a cup? Is this first class? Did I fucking sit in the wrong seat?
Yeah.
And then as she's going away, the things are so loud, she's like, fucking drunk.
Fucking drunk piece of shit. She goes back there. She's like, can you hand me fucking 3 Cokes to this fucking douchebag and 3
Yeah.
egg? You know
Here goes there. Thank you very much. But because the engines are going, they can literally just fucking say whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I told you about Danielle. It's a flight attendant named Danielle. And I know this because her name tag said Danyell.
They're like, how you spelled it? I don't know. Danyell. Yeah, Danielle, that sounds good.
Yeah, it makes more sense than the other one. How would the other one be?
Danielle.
That's fucking out there.
It
That's
is
crazy.
actually. It makes more sense.
That is.
Yeah.
That sounds like some delicious Spanish fucking risotto meal or something. There's a lot of L's in there. Like, you got to roll all those L's.
Danielle.
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
Yeah, exactly. So the way I think Danielle on Southwest flight, whatever the fuck, had it right. It's the proper way to spell that name.
You spell Kaylee's name wrong every time on purpose. Our boss of Vincenzo's
It's not
does
K-Lee, like she's a rapper from the 80s.
That would be cool.
Oh, I totally thought it was. I was being serious.
I think my mom is not necessarily a practical joker, but she does spell it differently every time. That's not a joke. No, yeah, but she does spell it.
Moms have a hard time texting.
They do, I guess, but I don't know. I think it's like my mom's like last silent dig. You know what I mean?
That she's not Catholic.
Yeah, she's not Catholic, and she's taking you away from me. So
she's
Kayleighiei. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, because I've spelled it like after like this in the same text, the right way, which is just 5 letters.
League is
it's very
Leah,
simple.
or like they'll just hear Lee or Leah or
Lage,
or they'll spell it like Lee Lee,
Lay,
like Tommy Lee Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like you're dating a dude.
Yeah.
A little Asian boy.
Lee? Yeah. This is Lee. He's Chinese. Lee. She's lighting off firecrackers and throwing them.
Huh? What?
Guys want to play baseball?
Don't mind him.
That's funny. Well, we got to get a setup. We have a friend named Tom, and we have a friend Jonesy. We got to track those two down and get a picture of the 3 of them, so it's Tommy Lee Jones. It's one of my big life goals. Haven't really pushed for it. It's the first that's ever been said. But
I guess I made a meme before it was a meme, like years and years ago, with like paint on the PC, and it was James Bond, Gandalf, and Mr. Feeney.
Yeah,
and it was James Gandalf.
There's a game we would play for a bit on the Facebook page. If we would have kept going with that actually was like catching. Like people were really responding to that. I had Michelle Rodriguez.
That was a tough one, man.
Because it was a wee me, a seashell, like a guy standing on a train in sweatpants with a boner.
Rod. That's your Rod.
Yeah, Rod. And then Ree was a fellow with Down syndrome. And then Guess, like the Guess jeans logo. So me, Shell, Rod, Ree, Guess.
And then we just, like, for some reason, stopped doing that.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because you kind of just, like...
Where do you go from there?
That's like a John Cazale career. Like, fucking, like, man, you were in the 4 best. Like, you just nailed it. Yeah. 4 home runs in a row. Fucking just get cancer and fucking back out. It's not like you were known for your hair. Yeah. Fucking, what were some other ones? God damn it.
I remember, our friend... Carminati.
Think of any other actor.
Flashlight and him, and it was the Illuminati.
Yeah, okay, that's a little more cerebral. Yeah. You got to think of like a fucking another Salma Hayek. Sail, like a sail. So you have to make people say the thing like in a row. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Like this could be a fucking card game. Sail,
kayak.
No, fucking Sal, Ma, like a mom. Fucking
what about
like the mom from
that
Goodfellas.
Ma that was a horror movie that came out not that long ago. It was really weird.
Just called Ma?
It's just called Ma. It was about this lady who, like, gives these underage kids alcohol and lets them party at their house. And then she turns out to be weird. Big plot twist.
So Sal, Ma, And then hi, you show like the fucking stoner kid from
Yeah.
Point of Me.
Yeah.
You show I was the kid from fucking Dazed and
Like,
Confused or
what
something.
can we show for hi?
Like, oh man, that fucking building's pretty high.
And then a yak.
Yeah, Salma Hayek. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying, dude. Like that could be a fucking card game where you have the card and it's got.
Oh yeah.
Remember how there is one where it's like mush mouth, like you're supposed to say the sentence and it means something out and it comes out as something else. It's sort of the same idea, but with like actors, famous people's names. But we only do it with how do you do Kevin Spacey? We only do it with canceled people.
Yeah, so no one like it's okay. Kevin Spacey. Well, that's how Kev.
Like a Kevlar vest. I don't know.
No, because you don't refer to it as like a Kev.
Kevin Spacey. You just
that's tough, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What
See,
the fuck?
see, it's a challenge.
Anybody on the live chat? Come on, what will we do here? Kevin. No.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin's such a lame name, though. I'm sorry, anybody. Kevin Gibbs.
But it's not. How do you? Where do you? If you get the bit that we're trying to do, we're trying to use images and pictures to like spell this person's name out.
Right.
James Gandolfini is a perfect example. But Kevin Spacey. But now we got to do it with just canceled people.
All right. So who else is canceled?
Who isn't?
Yeah, I know. Marilyn Manson. That's pretty easy.
Mary, Virgin Mary.
Mary,
Lynn.
Jamie Lynn Spears. No.
Oh, yeah. Who do you think? Loretta Lynn?
No,
Loretta Lynn Manson. Dude, we need to bring Mad TV back.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just, we're a gold mine for them.
That's true. We would be paid the big bucks to write their stupid shit.
No, we would just say Loretta Lynn Manson, and then they would just have to do it.
They would go with that. We are the muse for fucking Mad TV. I'm surprised that's not rebooted like everything else is brought back. You know what I mean?
Because Mad
Netflix
TV was pretty fucked up.
What do you mean?
You look like a man. Remember Mad TV?
Yeah, it
Jesus
was.
Christ, dude.
It was pretty.
Yeah, Mad TV was fucking wild.
I got in a kick like not that long ago where I was watching Will Sasso do the Kenny Rogers, and he would do the Jackass for some reason. It's Kenny Rogers and Jackass. It was like the funniest thing ever because it had nothing to do with any of it. He was just a fat fucking redneck getting hit with a baseball bat.
Always drunk as fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna chug some milk, but. I don't know why but like, okay, I was a teenager or even younger. Like I was in
they used to
like
play
middle
that shit
school
on Comedy Central all the time.
Yeah, and that was like our SNL sort of for like little dipshits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that Stewart character.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
That was creepy.
Yeah,
look what I can do.
Yeah. See, that's it. That's the one thing that guy brought to the table, and then they made like 5 seasons off of that fucking guy just doing that.
And the lady that Lois Griffin's voice. Alex Borstein did that one, the Chinese lady. Yeah. This is whatever. She was a fucking staple to that show.
Mm-hmm. And she did a really good job.
That was the stepping stone from all that to fucking...
Zach says Kevin Spacey absolutely blows in the Midnight of Garden of Good and Evil. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
He absolutely blows in a lot of places.
Kevin Spacey is the same guy in every movie. He's never not. And the one time he wasn't is when he was limping around in Usual Suspects. And then guess what? At the end, he turns into Kevin Spacey. It's so weird.
I always thought there should have been a movie where like a guy plays like a fella with Down syndrome. You know what I mean? Like the guy goes full retard. Like in Tropic Thunder. Yeah. There's one of those. It's going to win an Oscar, so guaranteed. But then at the end, as he's walking away, the eyes slowly just uncross. And you realize he hasn't been retarded the whole time. And he just played everybody. The Kaiser Soze. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like the Ringer,
instead of like a more
serious Ringer. Like,
yeah.
Right? Wasn't that?
Yeah,
Johnny Knoxville,
where he's pretending.
Beating a bunch of kids in the Special
But
Olympics.
it's the Usual Suspects, but it's that. Yes, exactly. You got it.
Okay. Then we can make it relevant, like how some states are trying to ban trans people from competing in sports because it's like, you know what I mean? Like a big guy who turns into a woman boxer, starts kicking the shit out of all these women boxers. I think it's like Wisconsin or something is trying to like.
Yeah, it's been happening for years.
Well, I know, but now people are like, you can't do that. But then he's like, have you seen what this thing is doing to these people? I heard the whole thing on fucking NPR like a few days ago, and they're like, yeah, I don't know where these people are going for the canceling of that, but that's some fucking thin ice there.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about anymore.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? But I'm saying you can add that into the Kaiser Soze, like. You're pretending to be. It's almost like Joanna Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just say Joanna Man. That's all right. It's what you've been talking about the whole time. Just say Joanna Man.
But it's
you
the
know
second
how
one.
I
It's
speak.
Joanna Be a Man.
Yeah,
and that's the second one.
It's Joanna Man, where it's like at the end you just like you find out there's a dick.
Was that Arsenio? Was he in Joanna Man?
Fuck, I think it was actually. Was it Arsenio or it wasn't one of the Wayans brothers?
No, it was Arsenio. They're just black. There's no way you confuse the two of those guys.
No. Well, I said because the Wayans have a habit of doing fucking movies Stupid. Where they dress up as fucking shit.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, Joanna Man. I'm pretty. Was it Arsenio? Who the fuck was it? Wasn't Dennis Rodman?
No, that was real. Joanna Man. Oh,
Zach, remember?
It was Miguel A. Nunez.
Who the fuck is that?
He's in a bunch of stuff. He was in Life.
Do you remember when Ponyboy from the fucking...
yeah, Soul Man.
Yeah.
Get close to the goddamn microphone.
Nah, if they can hear me, I'm yelling.
It was this guy, but we could see how that could...
Oh, yeah, he's kind of, he's been in stuff. Zach,
he looks
how
like
I
Arsenio
recommended
right there.
Sage? Zach, are you recommending that I burn sage now to clear up this conversation? That's what Zach H.
Oh,
said.
fuck with a Ouija board on air? I thought it was a wedgie board. A Ouija board on air? No, I think a Ouija board's bullshit.
No, absolutely not. No, remember a few episodes ago, I said the most afraid I will ever be is being either something with demons and being possessed or anything like that.
We ain't doing that shit at my house.
Yeah, you ever seen the fucking Exorcist? Because that's Captain Howdy. I actually have an Exorcist T-shirt where it's the fucking Pazuzu, the fucking the statue that what's his name, who always looks old forever. Who was the priest in that?
I don't know. I forgot his name. But it is like a name that as soon as you say it, I'm going to know it. And I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why did we started talking about Soul Man for a second? Because I know what you mean. That's another blackface movie.
Exactly. That's a super blackface movie. Like that is the epitome of blackface movies, where this dude who played Ponyboy, or he was in fucking Red Dawn. He was in I already said Ponyboy was in The Outsiders, right? But yeah,
yes.
he
well, here's the thing:
is he high school or black?
He was trying. I don't know, dude. There's some reason he did blackface and was on the basketball
team. And got a scholarship.
And once again, just like the fucking Pass It On ad, it went through a lot of fucking people. But when who said yes to that,
like, let's go.
They passed that really down the line, and everybody was cool with it.
That is,
I didn't.
Like Kaylee, that is the funniest way I've ever seen Ouija spelled. It's a wedgie board for sure. Board. Mario and Luigi board.
Oh, Mario and Luigi board. I just bring back just a fucking...
What is your name? And it's like, it's a me.
It's like a greening tube comes out and just... She crawls out like the Exorcist. He crawls... All right. Jason Viller, Max von Sydow.
Max von Sydow, who's in fucking everything. But he's the dude who, like, he apparently wore, like, old-aged makeup in The Exorcist. Because he looks exactly, like, in that movie, he looks exactly like how he's been for the next 40 years of film. Because that's just what, you know what I mean? He's been in everything, and he's great. But, like, I didn't realize, to me, when I first saw The Exorcist, he was that old man. Like, he was just an old man. So it blew my mind. It was almost like, Steve Martin always looked like Steve Martin?
Yeah, because he got gray hair at like 22. Yeah. Well, so did the old makeup look like he does now?
Yes. Well, he's dead now. But
not
no, but like
right
I mean, exactly like it. Like it's fucking crazy. Like he looked like.
So they predicted it very well.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Back to the Future,
can you win like a posthumous Academy Award where people are just like, "Hey, wait a minute, Exorcist, yo, you fucking nailed it." You know what I mean?
We thought you was old, and then you got old, and we realized shit, he wasn't old at all. But fucking all right. So the makeup looked like he eventually looked. They predicted what he was going to look like as an old man.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Back to the Future 2, and then you look at them actually now, they don't look like when they did old makeup to fucking Michael J. Fox.
Old makeup never really, I mean, it still looks weird in movies. Like, just looks weird.
There's
Captain
a couple.
America's old.
You know what? I mean, fucking, you can suck Goodfellas dick all the time, but like, Paulie, like, ages. Like, in the first time you see Paulie standing in the doorway where he moves slow, he doesn't. And then when he says, now I got to turn my back on you, you're like, oh shit, he's got completely gray hair. And you didn't know, like, it wasn't this dramatic transformation. He just looks a lot older.
Yeah.
And he looked younger. So that you're not supposed to notice it. You're supposed to realize it.
Yeah.
And then when it's just like
that.
some of those fucking movies where it's just like, we're just going to we're just going to plaster two vaginas under your eyes and make you look old.
Winona Ryder at the end of fucking Edward Scissorhands. She's like, oh.
Well, that was the whole thing.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? It was.
Did
like,
they do that in A League of Their Own where they went to the baseball museum and it was all like old Gina Davis? Did they try to do that, or did they just hire a bunch of old ladies to come in and pretend?
Do you remember when we were at the movies and we saw a preview for some shit?
Oh fuck! I was gonna tell this last week. This was great, dude. This is my experience. Is we're watching it, and I fucking hate when they do this. They do these little documentaries about a show that's about to hit ABC. Fucking. Blue True Bloods or some fucking horseshit. Like, it's all just some weird cop show. And they interview all the fucking people who you know that they're famous from something from way long ago. And they're like, this is a really exciting project. And they tell you all about it, and you just don't fucking care. Because now when I watch this, I'm going to know it's fake because I just watched you make it. Like, I can't suspend disbelief because you're literally showing me making it. And they're like, when we wrote this fake thing, and it's just, it ruins it. So it's a bad idea. But they fill up time in the theater before.
Yeah.
And they go to interview Gina Davis. And Gina Davis, I guess, has had some work done. Or I don't know if she was just looking a little fucking funky in this role. There was something off about it.
It wasn't even
different. It was dramatically different than the last time.
It wasn't the what she looked like in the show. She played like a president. She was the president of the United States. Was the show, whatever the fuck. It didn't last very long, but they showed her interviewed, which was just what Gina Davis looks like, and not in the show.
Yeah, but Gina Davis at a level where they'd fucking get her looking as good as she could for an interview. I guess they wouldn't. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, she looked dramatically different than you would think Gina Davis would look. And I was like, subtly, quietly to myself, like, oh, Gina Davis looking a little rough. And I go to turn to Steve to go like, hey, fucking Gina Davis is looking a little rough. And I look, and you're already looking at me, and you go, ew! So loud. And you were like, what the fuck happened to her? I'm like, Jesus.
I think speaking of Jonesy and like Greg and all those guys, they were at the IMAX theater, and they were gonna fucking. There was some movie like where Tom Cruise, goes. Time is repeated. It was just a Tom Cruise action movie that was just the same as the last 10 Tom Cruise, and it was so lame.
Jumping
the whole theater
off
like
Building 12.
Yeah, exactly, and like nobody like so it was like
this time he jumps onto a helicopter
from a building that's falling down into the water. It's incredible. You've never seen it before because the last time he came up from the water, climbed on a building, and jumped on a helicopter.
We should start a cruise line called Tom Cruise, where we, like, as you're on the cruise, we start blowing shit up and sending assassins after you. And it's like a Tom Cruise experience. The Scientologist is like threatening your life.
And then you wake up and you have to repeat the same,
you have to sacrifice a baby for Scientology. Absolutely. It's the whole Tom Cruise experience. It's a Tom Cruise.
You just, like, if you don't dance on a couch and proclaim your life.
You get to fuck Katie Holmes. It's a Tom Cruise. You get the full Tom Cruise experience. It's like a fantasy baseball camp thing. You get to be Tom Cruise for a day.
But, okay, so these guys were at the IMAX theater, right? And they were talking about, there was some lame, like really lame, like Tom Cruise movie preview. And, like some people are like kind of comment or like chime or like, oh, it's good. Like, I don't see that. You always hear like some little murmuring after. There was nothing. And I think it was either Andy or Greg. It was silent. And they go, yeah! People started laughing because they knew like everyone was in like full like understanding that was the lamest shit ever. And just one guy like, yeah!
Dude, like people who I don't know, is it a nervous laughter thing? I don't like, dude, like the shit people will laugh at in a theater is mind-boggling.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be like the most cutesy little half joke, and some fucking married dork will fucking just cackle like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. Normal people, what they find funny is just like
I think the same energy that I get, or the nervousness that I feel when people sing "Happy Birthday" to me, is the same at the end of a movie when people start to clap.
Yeah.
Because why are you doing that? Like, stop doing that.
The
Why is this a
people who made
tradition?
the
Stop
movie
doing
aren't
it.
here.
Nobody who's associated with the movie at all is anywhere near this place.
Maybe the projectionist, feels it.
The projectionist is just like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing later?
Porn into the film. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I get that same, and when the plane lands type of thing, and people are like,
if it was a hairy ass ride, if it was like a this plane might not land ride, where you're like, where I'm like, calming her down, but then also going like, we're gonna die. We're just gonna die. It's fine. Come on. Look at nobody can look. The stewardess is. I think she's allergic to the Pepsi. That's why her makeup's running. She's crying and she must be on the phone telling them how okay it is, telling the ground how okay it is. And then in my head, I'm like, we're gonna fucking die. And then after those, that deserves a round of applause because the guy just magically brought like this giant metal flying bird with all these fucking strangers in the back who all have families and brought it through a storm with lightnings with Thor throwing fucking shit around. Okay. And he landed it on the fucking ground safely and the fucking TV never went out. And I watched fucking Planet of the Apes the whole time. All right?
Mark Planet of the Apes? Or
no.
The good one.
The like the newer ones.
Yeah.
Those are where they find the gas station and they play the band. I don't remember what happens.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Woody Harrelson in that? And he's crazy.
In the third one, yeah.
I'm going to watch that on a screen that isn't 6 inches big. I think I would be a lot better, yeah. Next to a fat guy eating a burrito. It was not the best experience. But that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
Clapping for a movie where the fucking director is in the back of the Niagara Falls fucking IMAX going, I need to see how the people feel to really get, like judging the reaction.
When there's
of the crowd.
the 5 people that are there. Which is, the one married guy in shorts, but he's not there with his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're the guy who got
there was a motherfucker who, when we went to see something, I think it was IMAX. It was like really narrow, like seats. The seats were like down. Like it was like the cheap seats at the yacht. Like it was like straight down fucking seating. Like I don't know how to explain it. But a guy came in. It was like middle of the day matinee. We just fucking went and saw a movie. And some older dude came in and took his shirt off, and he kept like taking these really deep and weird breaths. He was like,
yeah. Is that like the Avengers or something?
Yeah. He was taking these weird deep breaths. I'm like, is this motherfucker about to have a heart attack? And it was like cold out, and I don't know what he was doing. He was just getting settled or something. He was just making weird noise. Like when when an old bulldog starts like making bizarre ass noises, and you're like, oh, this thing's about to die.
This is
He's gonna
how
die.
It's supposed to be here. It's ending. It's done now.
Are you okay? Is this happening to you a lot? Die. He was just making these weird noises.
Somebody dies in a movie theater, and the movie's good. Do you go get someone, or do you wait?
I don't know, man. I guess you just what the fuck, because you're gonna fuck up the movie for everybody else. Like they're gonna pause the movie,
and they'll give you the voucher.
They're gonna notice that it's a thing. It's like just wait to the end. He sat down in that chair wanting to see that movie, and you let him finish that movie.
Right, spiritually,
yeah. You left him there. That was the last thing he did was see that movie. And now, if you want to feel like he's near, you watch of the Avengers again.
I remember I watched all the Dark Knight movies again.
The microphone.
I watched all the Dark Knight movies again, and still I get to Dark Knight Rises, and I'm like, I remember the joke I made to you.
There was something
as soon as it was done, and I was like, no wonder that guy shut up the fucking theater.
That's what everybody. It was everybody said, Joe, did you see the fucking movie? Of course he did.
Yeah, but like, it was fucking not.
Because you're coming off of the Dark Knight,
yeah.
Which, like, as much as like every time I watch that, I'm like expecting it to like not be as good as I thought it was, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty perfect.
God damn
it! Like even like I love Batman Begins. I think is great.
It's
just because I'm a fan, and I think it's like a little more like noir-y and cartoony, and like it's kind of like the 50s. You know what I mean? But like the Dark Knight, when you watch, and when it's at the end, you're just like, it's one of those like Goodfellas, Fight Club. You're like, that was a perfect fucking film.
It's a perfect film.
It's fucking great. So it's hard to come off of that. And then you make like a pretty good, just summer popcorny. I don't like how they use New York City.
No.
Because it's fucking New York City. You could tell it's New York City.
Like,
they show the island.
And I love Tom Hardy, man. Tom Hardy
the
is
Freedom
like...
Tower's getting built. You're like, that's New York. That's not... It was Chicago before, but with like some CGI buildings to make it look different.
Was it like Philly or was the other one? Or Pittsburgh or something?
They filmed the football shit in Pittsburgh.
Gotham was all
But
different cities.
Here's what I was thinking. Is that they cleaned up Gotham. They made it like the Harvey Dent Act cleaned up Gotham, so now Gotham is supposed to look different.
Okay.
It looked it wasn't as dark and gritty. It wasn't Chicago anymore. It was more New York.
That was by the way, that was Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I didn't know that I was doing that face, and I look in the monitor and I'm like, you got a point.
So Gotham looks different because it was cleaned up.
But here's the thing. I watched that movie like 3 weeks ago, and Dark Knight Rises, and I can't stop saying, time to go mobile.
Yeah, some of the lines were like real.
Remember in the theater, though, it was really hard to understand what the fuck he was saying.
Because they recut it. They actually changed it after those first few runs.
Because we
went the first day. After the shooting, I woke up and saw the news of the shooting.
Yeah.
And was like, dude, there's going to be metal detectors. We're like, this is going to be an event. The news is going to be there. This is going to be crazy. We pulled into the parking lot. And there was just like nothing. There was like a cop eating a fucking sandwich.
Again, the married guy without his wife and shorts. Just like,
the kids at karate, so you can go watch the thing. Like, there was zero protection. Just the dude didn't even look at your ticket.
The League of Shadows.
Yeah.
So it's fun to say shit that Tom Hardy says in that movie.
The voices. That's the thing is and Batman's voice, like the voice choices in those movies, except for Heath Ledger's was perfect.
Heath Ledger was fucking one of my favorite scenes. Well, every scene that he's in is perfect, but like one of my favorite things is at the end when Batman gets him and he's hanging off the fucking roof and he's like, I want to show you that the people who got them are good.
Yeah.
And like whatever. But then the camera starts to turn around because Heath Ledger's hanging upside down and then it's him up, but his hair's up. Dude, genius.
It's fucking great.
Incredible.
It's so fucking good.
But
then, the voices, some of the voices in the Tom Hardy voices... No.
What a lovely, lovely voice. You know, like it's
So you brought him here.
But like, he says some cool stuff. Like, you know, I see you came back to die with your city. And then he's like, no. Like he's like, basically it was Batman's version going, no. You know, because he goes, I came back to stop you. No shit. Look around you. Because it's clearly what you're doing, Batman. Like that is what it's this showdown. He broke Batman. Batman leapt to almost his death 3 times and made it out on the 3rd time. Finally meets Bane again. And he goes, no. You don't think the whole time in the prison he wasn't thinking of something to say to Bane?
No, the real Batman, the fucking real Batman, like you talk Dark Knight Returns, badass fucking Batman wouldn't have said a fucking word. Right. Would have just came out. He wouldn't even have seen a Bane. It'd be fighting, then all of a sudden it would be one of those. He looks around and all of a sudden there's a fist, and he just knocks him the fuck out. And he's when Michael Keaton just is like, you're going to jail. Yeah. Just that's all he says. You're like, yeah, Batman don't fucking talk. You don't say cutesy shit. No. They kind of cutesied it up at the end there, but whatever. But there should be a band called Fernie Branca because that's the drink that Michael Caine gets. Yep. And I'm like, that sounds like a cool band. Like
on holiday for Fernie Branca. Yeah. So Zach is asking, where should he start? He's a Batman fan.
You talking like comics and shit?
Comics or the films?
If you're talking about comics, if you're talking about films, I mean, just start at the beginning and watch them all and know that it's a wild ride.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Like, don't say anything. Just watch them by the year. Like, start at the earliest, 89, and then just work your way up and see how that goes for you.
Watch like one of those time-lapse videos of like a flower dying and coming back to life. That's what it is. But I love like the Val Kilmer one just from the nostalgic like little kid aspect.
Yeah,
of it. Like,
Tommy Lee Jones is fucking wild.
They're all just the Joker. Even Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. They're all just being the Joker.
Yeah.
They're all just being the Joker.
I hated Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, because he was just being the Joker. He didn't know how
Yeah, but also weird. He's being Jesse Eisenberg. Like, just like...
He was a great Joker. Yeah, he was
Hey, look, you're big. Day versus night. Like, how many fucking,
he was quirky. Lex Luthor's supposed to be a little smooth, right?
He's like, good versus bad. Day versus night. God versus Satan. You know, it's like, we get it. You know what I mean? Like...
was being a little too
we fucking get it.
Shakespearean about it. If you're talking about comics, you start with Frank Miller's Year One.
Year One, yeah, I would say. And
then there's like Year Two and shit. I love the Long Halloween.
Long Halloween
because it mixes the whole Godfather thing with the fucking Batman thing. Hush was a good run that came out when I was a kid when I first got into it. Like the first books I actually bought was during the Hush run. And you're like, oh, I don't know, fuck this cartoon. Because like they drew the women like, oh, come on. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was unfair for anyone else.
But
which one's the best? Which movie or the comic? I don't know. And that's a matter of opinion.
Like here,
dude,
The Dark Knight Returns, once you get into it and you really get the whole story and you realize what the fuck is going on with this guy and you realize the darkness of it and you get the reality of it.
Time I realized,
then you get in The Dark Knight Returns.
I actually questioned how like fucked up Batman actually is, because Batman to me was introduced to me as a kid as Michael Keaton. That's how I knew Well, actually, fucking the 60s Batman. I grew up watching
Adam West.
Yeah. But the point is, Batman was always Batman. And you never questioned it because it was cool and he kicked butt and he did whatever. But that was the first one I was like, this guy's fucked. Yeah. Like, this guy's fucked up.
Very dark story.
You know what I mean? And then that's why I like Christopher Nolan's trilogy, because they were like, you're just as fucking crazy as them. You know? So I don't know. I like it.
People blame him, but The Dark Knight Returns, once you understand the whole story, The Dark Knight Returns is very weird. Well, it's not very, but once you understand the whole story and the backstory and that you understand the impact of it, it is Shakespearean level. I read it like twice a year. Like it's fucking amazing, and the animated version they did was pretty solid.
It was pretty
actually.
good, yeah.
But like I know I say the anime. I know I'm always making fun of people for the infantile like people in their 30s who have a Disney wedding. I'm like, you fucking psychos. And this is my one thing. Like with comic books, I love the dark Batman graphic novels. But the minute Green Lantern shows up and starts doing shit with his ring, I'm like, this is fucking gay. Yeah, but like the other shit, I'm like, this is Shakespearean. I just said that. Like, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. There's a fine line with it.
I know.
But The Dark Knight fucking Returns is when he's older and he comes back to it. And it's like, because it fucking calls him back. It's dark, dude. It's fucking heavy.
Brooding and intimidating. And, you know, he doesn't give a shit. And Superman's like, hey, you should stop that.
Superman works for the fucking government now. It shows, like, that these guys didn't come in and, like, join arms, Justice League, like, cartoon. Like, they were a problem. The government had a fucking problem with Superman. And they wanted to kill, like, he was the enemy for a minute. Like, so now Superman works with the government to fucking take fucking rockets up to space and blow them up when people start fucking around.
That's why, like, you ever watch that show, The Boys, the Amazon original show? It's really fucking, it's awesome.
That idea.
It's like that. It's
one of the funniest parts of The Dark Knight Returns is when they use it's Reagan. It came out in the 80s, so Reagan's like the thing. And it just keeps cutting. It's all shows how the media, a lot of it is TV anchors talking, like talking heads, really. And it's telling the stories, and like you'll watch a story happen, then you see the news cover it, and they twist it a little bit, and you're like, hey, like V for Vendetta did that pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But written by the same guy, right? Did he do the comic Frank Miller? Did he do V for Vendetta?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. If he did, that would make sense because he's fucking great.
It seems like his style, or somebody did that. I'm gonna look it up. Or no, Lee, look it up. I can't do it too, because then I'll just be quiet for 30 seconds. I had a point.
And you'll listen to me, as you know.
What the fuck was the point?
Fiji water.
Well, all right. So it shows the media and all the stuff, and the Joker coming back. It shows the negative side of it.
Zach.
And they're like, "Yo, hey, fucking comics are for kids." You're like, "Oh yeah, the one where the Joker poisoned the cotton candy at the fair and killed like 150 Boy Scouts." Yeah, I'm gonna get that one for my kid for Christmas. Like, some of it, dude, it's a psychotic, murderous fucking thing.
Zach, future reference: if you ever want to just fucking completely take the show off of the rails, bring up Batman to Thurman. And
that makes sense. I was on the rails.
It was it?
Yeah.
Because we could have two separate podcasts.
One guy finally asked a question in 10 years of doing this. All right, I'm going to give him a fucking proper answer.
That's true. Thank you guys, everybody.
V for Vendetta, that's director. He directed the movie.
No, the Wachowskis from fucking The Matrix, but who wrote the comic?
Never mind. Look it up yourselves, kids.
Michael Moore. Yeah, Michael Moore.
Wrote
V for Vendetta. G for global warming by Michael Moore. All right, dude. I gotta fucking piss. I think we're good for this.
This cough is not from this. I've been sick as a bitch lately.
Oh, thanks for having us over.
I'm kidding.
Actually, I'm immune now. I just
No, it's the fucking time of year, dude. My fucking one ear is all fucked up, so I'm having that weird water in the ear situation. Yeah. Remember, we've played gigs where I was like, am I doing this right? Because I'm just hearing
the one time you asked me
Charlie
if
Brown's
the song's
teacher.
going
I'm like Charlie Brown's teacher, and everyone's like, it feels like you have water in your ear. It's fucking with me. So thanks, Mother Nature, for kicking my ass. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna click end stream. Anything else we got to say?
Quick shout out. I heard a new EP from a band called the Half Trays, and it's called Double Dippin' is the EP, and it's a fucking wing.
About that. What is
and
that?
it's Peter Hewer's fucking.
Oh yeah,
band,
okay, right. Yeah,
but they sound like, if you're a fan of like Wolfpack or like the Fearless Flyers, early Prince, Tower of Power, like they got it all, man. They're fucking sick.
Nice.
The production value is fucking great. Whoever recorded it, and Peter's tone, he's one of the best guitar players that we have around Western New York, and he's a hell of a guy, and he's also a hell of a photographer too. But I'm telling you, it's on all streaming platforms. Check it out, man. The Half Trays 1/2, not HALF. Half Trays, and Double Dippin' is the EP, and it's funky as fuck, man. So you'll thank me.
There's a lot of good music that's out there.
Not me. You'll thank Pete.
Orange Corner just fucking dropped some shit. There's a lot of good music coming out. Yeah. So
what about the Friendly Foes voting and the fucking?
Oh yeah, that's okay. So I'm assuming we might be like Wednesday.
It's Band Together
Buffalo. This huge thing that's been going on for weeks and weeks, and it involves everybody. Actually, Orange Corner's in this next round. They announced Monday when with the actual. What did he say?
Sorry, Zach. It said Wolfpack is my twin sister, and then it meant to say is my favorite band, but it's autocorrect. It said twin sister. What the fuck?
No, or it says it's my twin sister's favorite band.
Oh, okay.
So he just didn't. Oh, Wolfpack is my.
Well,
twin
why the
sister.
fuck would we want to know that, Zach? Cool. Thank you.
Wolfpack. Well, so tell your twin sister. Tell your twin sister about the Half Trays.
Yeah.
Because she'll like it.
She probably will like it a lot.
That's the connection.
And it's local, man.
We're supposed to use this to promote our friends' things, and as soon as it worked, you're like, well, what the fuck do you want to know?
I'm like, wait a minute.
Is that your fucking business? You just yell at the guy.
I'm not used to it. Clearly, I've been out of contact with any humans. Seriously. Poor Kaylee's got to deal with the brunt of it. And then Thurman gets to hear the weird stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so the deal is whatever night, we're getting the schedule, I believe, Monday. Whatever night Friendly Foes, they're going to broadcast some Friendly Foes footage. You got to tune into that. You can vote for us on their website. You can make your vote count twice if you vote on the night they premiere our thing, which I said Monday the schedule comes out. So that makes your vote count twice. If you Venmo us a little cash, it could be a fucking $1. That makes your vote count 3 fucking times. All right, so Venmo a fucking $1. I'll give it back to you. I don't give a shit. Fucking just it makes your vote count 3 times, and then we move on to the next round. All right, so check that out. Band Together Buffalo, Friendly Foes, and Orange Corner's in there, and Solar Plexus, and Wolf of Walter are in this one. This is a jam band.
Yeah,
heavy.
Zach Ward, Grub.
Yeah, well, they are. I'm saying for this particular this next round.
That's a heavy fucking.
For the next round, there's a bunch of really good stuff. So everybody, check that out. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.